everybody. Just a really quick update from me and Robert Stephan. I just got through making his little turtle stuffy thing that I was crocheting, and I think it kind of turned out okay. Not perfect, because the stuffing shows through in a couple places, but that's okay. But this is my first attempt at making an animal stuffy, because I plan on making him a little dragon eventually, once I get it perfected and worked out. And so I'm working with my bonbon yarns, you know, the little bitty yarn thingies. And it was made with this for the head, and for the borders of the shell, and then this yellow-orange for the body. And so, and it was all done in single crochet. Just rings and rings and rings of single crochet. And so this one here is just a little leftover piece from the yellow-orange. And it's going to end up being part of either making a tail, or it's going to be part of something else in the future. But this was how it was done, all single crochet, little ring, and just round and round and round. And then when it got to the point that it could be stuffed, I put the stuffing in it, stitched it closed, and then made each individual leg separate, did the same with them, and then I did the same with the head, but instead of stitching it closed, I crocheted it directly onto the body, added the stuffing, and then closed it up. So it looks pretty good. And now I just got to add a couple of little eyes to it with embroidery thread, and it'll be finished. And Robert Stephan just is all excited about it. He loves it. And I got started on my painting that I was doing, the next one in my series of the four horsemen. And the first one I did was war. This one is famine. And then I'll do pestilence, and I'll do death. And so they're not going to be in the sellable stuff. They're not pretty or comforting in any way. They're just my impressions of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and how that relates to the environment and the climate change. So, and of course, with pestilence, you don't get just insects, you get like plagues, disease plagues. And so, in my eyes, there really should be 5. There should be 1 for plague, as well as pestilences. But in the Bible, it's the 4 horsemen are war, famine, pestilence, and death. And so the 4 horses are red, black, brown, and gray or white. So, at least the way everybody's pictures have shown them, you know, from the Middle Ages on. There's the scripture that talks about the horseman for death says a pale green. And I don't remember it saying a pale green when I was growing up. It was just a pale horse. And I asked a friend about it recently, and she pulled it up on the internet, and it's a pale green is what the horse is. Well, I'm not going to do a horse that's a green color. Sorry. It may be a pale horse, which means it'll be either white or a pale gray. But, so, yeah. And, I don't know if you can see, let me work myself up a little bit so you can see the start of famine. And the one for famine starts out as it starts out, you'd think it was just going to be a normal landscape. But what it is a lake. There's been a drought for so long that this beautiful Great Lake is almost dried up. And so that's just the background of it. And it's going to be, have very, very, very little bit of vegetation and somebody that is rather emaciated looking, trying to gather up a little bit of fruit or vegetable, you know, for them to eat. And then the horse, somewhere in the picture, will be. And then when I get to pestilence, I don't know how I'm going to work that one out, because that one is like insects. And you could do like a plague of locusts or something. A bunch of grasshoppers eating up the grass or whatever. But that's the next one, and I don't know what to do with it. I do know about death. Death is going to be a cemetery. It's going to be, you know, a bunch of headstones and maybe a large shallow trench where bodies are being piled into, and then death coming through on his horse. So that one's an easy one to figure out. But the ones for famine and pestilence are a little bit more difficult. And Robert Steffen's hair is showing the red highlights today. He's got that really pretty dark blonde hair, and it just, every so often the sunlight hits it, and he starts having these little red highlights in his hair, which is just beautiful. He's such a beautiful little baby. And I dearly love this doll. I am so happy that I got him. I am just really, really happy that he came into my world. And he and I are both looking forward to when I can get the next kits and make his new siblings. And we're also looking forward to when Alana Michelle gets here. And like Robert Steffen, Alana Michelle is a factory doll. She's not made by a fancy artist. But that's okay. I can't afford to buy one from Jen or Stephanie or whoever, because I just can't do a doll that's going to cost anywhere from $300 up to $10,000. Just can't afford it. So what I'm doing is I'm getting the kits. As long as the kit's going to be under $100, I can manage to do it legally. And I'm making them from scratch. And except for the one or two factory babies that I've got, like Tink and Robert Stephen and Alana Michelle, all of my babies are going to be kits that I make myself. So that's how I'm doing the whole reborn thing. And I'll have my reborns. And, if I ever win the lottery real big, to where I can get off of disability, get off Social Security, and stay off of it, well, then I might invest in one of the fancier dolls, or two. But, I'm getting so old now that putting that kind of an effort into buying something that I don't have any kids to pass these on to. I don't have anybody in my family that's interested in doll collecting that's, of an age. So, they would be going to my friends that have little children, probably. Like, Chris, her little girl, Arcadia, loves dolls and stuffies and things, and so she would, and she's very good with Robert Stephen when she's been over to the house, and she played with Robert Stephen and Tink, and she was very good with them and very gentle with them, so I could trust her. Or maybe my friend Jason, his daughter Kaylee, who I made the reborn for, I might have them go to her. So I know that I have to think about making, arrangements for that when the time comes, that they'll go to somebody that can appreciate them. And because I'm going to be putting so much of myself into them. And I'm going to be bonded with them just like I am with Robert Stephen and Tink. And, I just enjoy making outfits for them and making toys for them and stuff. I enjoy doing these things for these dolls because the dolls and Mischief and Cookie Monster, they're all my kids. They're the family that I've got. And so I get a little involved with it. But yeah. Anyway, I'm starting to blather about nothing. But what do you think of the little turtle? Isn't he cute? I love the way that the contrast of the colors worked out. So that the orange, the darker orange and the lighter orange work together so well. And I really love that. I can't say that this is really a great first attempt, but I'm pleased with it because I did manage to figure out how to do it, how to put it together right. So the next thing is to make sure that my stitches are close enough together so that when I do put the stuffing in, I don't have things like that showing. But just sitting on the table, or on the arm of the chair there, it looks so nice. And when I put this size on it and finish it out, it's going to just look really, really cute. And so this one, my first attempt, and I'm probably going to do another one, and hopefully the next one will be tighter and look prettier. But this one might end up being like a pincushion. Might do some for like ornaments for the tree. That would be kind of fun. Anyway, my email is in the description below if you want to contact me. norwoodpatricia48@gmail.com. And my Patreon page is in the description below, but I'm not sure that I'm going to keep the Patreon page up for a whole lot more longer. I'm rethinking this whole try to sell my paintings and possibly my dolls thing. Because I get people look at my pictures, and I get people, you know, they see it, but nobody, I haven't sold anything for so long now. It's only been only a couple of my paintings that I've sold, so. And I didn't sell them on Patreon. They were sold to a friend that lived in Canada. Maybe that's not what I need to be doing. Maybe being in business just isn't the thing for me, so just to enjoy my reborns and enjoy painting and not worry about whether I make a sale or not. That may be what I have to do. Because at 67, it's just a little bit old to start trying to have a business. But that's okay. Anyway, till next time, I love y'all. Thank you for watching. And have a wonderful week. Bye-bye. Bye.